it's always difficult not to overreact in these moments and not throw the baby out with the bathwater. But there are problems that we feel as a club have been there all season and are now coming to the forefront again at the end of the season. So we're going to try and figure them out. Again, not to be looking for scapegoats on a defeat or anything, but we can't just keep burying our heads in the sand and pretending that everything is brilliant. There are things that we need to figure out, and we need to be better at moving forward. And I guess team selections, rotations, substitutions, who's going to get new contracts, who isn't. These are all the things I really wanted to talk about tonight. And I wanted to ask as well, where do you guys think the blame for that performance lays, if indeed you feel there is any blame? Yeah, so that and lots more to come up over the next hour or so. I've been watching, reading, looking at a lot of stuff since the game, and I think the consensus is pretty much the same. It was a shambolic first half, and we left ourselves with too much to do in the second half, and ultimately we only looked like we were really interested in the game after we were behind and Arne Slot had to roll the dice. Ryan, how are you, bro? And said, hey Craig, complacency goes quickly. It does, and I'm trying to figure out if this is complacency, because there was a comment from Roy Keane, Ryan, and I think it summarises everything pretty well. And normally I disagree with a lot of what Roy Keane has to say, but speaking at half-time on Sky in the game, he said, Liverpool are playing like they're a mid-table team waiting for the end of the season. They're not even smelling or sensing danger. Liverpool defensively, my goodness. And I think he has a point. It did feel like these players were out there going through the motions in the first half. Macca's fantastic goal aside, I can't really disagree with Roy Keane on that one. And I don't know if it's complacency, Ryan, or if it's, I don't know, laziness or whatever. But either way, it was just an unacceptable performance in a period of time where there's been more unacceptable performances than good ones. And that's something I think we can't bury our heads in the sand. You know, we can't. We have to address that there are failings here and there are problems. And yes, we've done well this season. We've been the most consistent of an inconsistent season. But I don't know, man. The PSG game, the cup final, there's just too many recent poor performances for me to just say it's down to one thing or another. It's a problem and we need to talk about it. Tom, how are you? Said, was out for the game, watched the highlights, not overly worried. I know we weren't at our best. However, it's not often we make 3 mistakes and be punished for each one. Fans need to be patient. So, Tom, let's be honest, mate. It's far from one poor performance. We were shambolic in the League Cup final against Newcastle. We were the second best team over 2 games, pretty much, against Paris Saint-Germain. And there's been games this season that we've won where we probably shouldn't have. I don't think this is fans overreacting or needing to be patient. I think this is fans being concerned with the level of fatigue that seems to be on show, or the level of a lack of fight spirit. It just, we're so one-paced, man. It's, you know, we jokingly called ourselves second half FC for most of the season, and you get to today, Tom, and it was just underwhelming, and we lacked so much fight in the first half. And yes, there was mistakes, no denying that, but mistakes, we can say they're individual mistakes, but they're mistakes that were 3 in 20 minutes and from very, very senior established defenders. I don't think we can just say trust the process and move on. I think we've got to be honest about it and say this needs a major addressing in the summer. And I don't have the faith that he's going to be backed enough personally. But look, I always appreciate people not wanting to be overreactionary. I can be that at times, Tom, but I think, you know, this was the latest in a run of poor performances for me. Tom said, as a player myself, I know what it's like to be dominating a league and trying to get yourself up for every single game. It's difficult. I agree with performances haven't been great recently. So look, I played at a good level as well. And if you get to the 3-4 games, Tom, as you said, as a player, and it isn't working, you're going to have to look around and ask serious questions in that dressing room, right? You're looking for your leaders to step up and be honest about this. And Arne Slot's post-match interview, for me, Tom, was anything but honest and sincere. And I feel like we're trying to bury our heads in the sand. He said we weren't fatigued against Newcastle, we looked shattered. Today he said that we were great in the second half, but neglected to kind of mention that reason for that was because we were desperate and we threw on a load of attackers, went to 3 at the back and were pouring forward. I think the real question here should be, Tom, what is Arne Slot's style of football? And if it is this build up from the back, sideways, backwards, really slow, really methodical, I don't think we're going to enjoy it. And I don't think it's going to work. You know, we need to get back to starting games quickly and just pounding opponents into submission, whether that is with physicality, whether that is with pressing, whether that is with attack is the best form of defence, whatever it might be. But in that dressing room at the minute, Tom, and I'm glad you spoke about being a player yourself, because it doesn't smell right to me, bro. It doesn't feel like everything in that dressing room or around the club is as upbeat and as happy as maybe people would like the outside world to believe. That's my take on it, Tom, anyway. But I do appreciate your insight. And, you know, all views are welcome, mate. So thank you. Ryan said, completely agree, Craig. We are chucking balls in stupid areas, not paying attention. It's like our defenders were lost on how to tackle our clear lines. So the robber one particularly annoyed me today, Ryan, because there was a great camera angle that Sky had of it right from behind where Robbo cleared it. And all you can see down the line was two Liverpool players who had potential to create an attacking opportunity. I don't know for what reason Robbo thought to play the ball back across his goal was the best thing to do. It just, I don't get it. Virgil needs to stop as well. Virgil needs to stop this nonsense of not finding a Liverpool player. I'm getting a pain in my arse with him stepping across and just clearing balls out or booting them without looking where it's going. It is frustrating to the extreme. And we are, and I've said this for a few years now, I think one of the worst headers of a football as a team that I can think of. We never pick out a player. We never find a player from a corner anymore. We should be a real handful from set pieces, and we're not. We're blunt. But yet we consistently just throw in these aimless crosses. And the lackadaisical attitude of Virgil's defending and the way he just sweeps a foot and clears it, it bugs me. Same with Canade. Canade gave away a corner with a sliced clearance that wasn't even difficult. CJV Edit said, Craig, what do you think we should do lineup-wise against West Ham? Well, pray Alisson's back, because today was one of the first days I really felt some disappointment in Kelleher. I didn't think that today was a good day for Queeveen whatsoever. So I would say hope Alisson's back. Put Bradley straight into the team. I think you can see the difference Conor Bradley made when he came on today. I thought he looked really good, really sharp and really positive. Harvey Elliott, again, I'll make the argument that Harvey Elliott at the very least should be getting a better chance from the bench and a sooner chance from the bench. Same problem suffered this time last season and the season before, on-field intelligence and leadership. But we were told this season that one of the reasons we weren't playing the swashbuckling, all-attack, 100-mile-an-hour style of football was to prolong our season and to make sure that we didn't burn out in the second half or latter part of the season. And it's difficult to tell at this moment in time whether we're burnt out or whether we're just lacking in drive, because it just looks flat. And you know, if we did have anything else on the line this year and if the Premier League wasn't already sewn up, you'd be concerned. Right now, we're going to limp over the line, it looks like. And I've got more questions than answers from today's performance. Because that's 3 losses in the last 4 games. That's not good enough. And one of them was a cup final. One of them was us getting knocked out at home in the Champions League, getting beaten by PSG. The Everton game wasn't convincing, but we got the job done. And then today, you go 1-0 up, and to defensively collapse like that in 18 minutes it was embarrassing. Josh said, we'll still win the league guaranteed. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind, mate, that we'll do that. But the big question that I'd like to say is, or ask you guys is, are you concerned going into next season? Because we will win the league, as Josh said. But are we going to win it and bounce into next season, feel like we're going to defend it? Because at the moment, I don't think we are. And I don't feel like we're going to do it. And again, if we're hoping and praying on the big summer transfer window, it's a lot of faith to be putting in people that haven't really delivered for us so far. And these owners don't seem the type for me to want to win at all costs. They seem to want Champions League football and the money that comes with that. But big decisions this summer.